Synthroid. You know, if you've been on a hormone or a steroid for a long time, it only makes sense that you would use a glandular to enhance the function of that gland. So a glandular is raw tissue. It is the cells of a bovine source of the same. And think of it more stem cell physics. You know, everybody's in the same room laughing. You know, that homeostatic energetics of life. But use that to enhance the cells, because it ultimately is the cells that produce the hormones and steroids and neurotransmitters. However, when you're looking at the endocrine glands, you have the pituitary to always consider here, because it controls everything. So if you have a thyroid, parathyroid problem, adrenal problem, especially an ovarian problem, a prostate, so you got to think that it could be also coming from this, the pituitary. So it's just to keep that in the back of your minds. And one day I'll go over the questionnaire with you, and I think that would be a good idea. I'll go over the questionnaire with you and show you, and you can copy this questionnaire, and we've tried to write the different systems under the different glands and different parts of your body. So people are filling out this questionnaire, they say, oh, I have low blood pressure. Oh, this is an adrenal gland problem. Because if I can get you aware of symptoms and where they come from, you'll be like a good mechanic that says, oh, that noise is the alternator. You know, I'm going to get you guys that good. And so I will get this questionnaire so we learn how to look at a person and be able to see where their issues are. Not to diagnose. I mean, the medical doctors are so pinpointy, states and stuff like that. So you would use a glandular, and there's all levels of them in terms of strength, to support the gland while you're coming off of titration, they call it. You titrate off of or slow off of, like cut your Synthroid in half or a quarter. Best thing's to have your medical doctor help you, if that's possible. Most medical doctors don't care if you get well, and I say that, and they might go, "Oh, Dr. Morse, you're beating us up." How many of you medical doctors help your clients to be on drugs short term and then get off of them? Some good ones out there. I know you are, because I know who you are. You're good. You say, okay, you might need this temporarily. 90% of you go put them on it. That's it. You're done for life. You don't help them get well because you don't know how to get well. So you have to learn what makes things hypoactive, what breaks things down, what suppresses the function of cells. Because it's not an autoimmune problem when you have a suppression of the function of cells. There's nothing autoimmune about it. And if you use immune, then you must use lymphatic simultaneously. There's some immunity in the blood, but your predominant immune system is your sewer system, is the giant lymphatic system of the human body. So when you think immunity, think lymphatic. If you're not clean, if you throw stuff down the food disposal and it comes back up on you, that means something's clogged. You flush the toilet and something comes back, something's clogged. I don't care how many immune cells you have. You can have all the immune cells you want, T's, B's, all types of lymphocytes, macrophages. I don't care. You can have everybody on board, basophils, neutrophils. If your lymph system isn't moving, there's not millions of these cells that matter, one little bit. Because when the highway is backed up in cars, you can't throw more cars out. You've got a system that gets backed up, you've got to move it. You've got to clean the blockage. And that's what we're talking about. Disease is a blockage, is an obstruction to the flow of energy. Blood, nerve, and lymph are the three main flows of energy, and yet nerve flow is a cellular energy based upon cells. So blood and lymph are always the two bottom line issues of health. Always. But you can add the nervous system in there, even though those are a bunch of cells that deal with blood and lymph tissues. So you only have these two fluids basically that control the functions and the health and the well-being of the cells outside of genetic memory patterns. But we don't want to get voodoo-ish on genetics because it's simply just memory patterns which you can turn around. You can rebuild. You can take a plant that's sickly and give it a lot of love and it'll turn its memory patterns around and start going, somebody loves me. Oh, and it starts shining like a light. And this is true of a human being too. You know, the love principle, a very powerful one, you know. But this Synthroid, you would work with a glandular if your medical doctor won't help you. I like people that take their health in their own hands because you don't want to trust anybody. Don't trust what I'm saying. Learn, grow, put it in a puzzle. You know, play the jigsaw puzzle game. And I'm trying to give you the picture of the jigsaw puzzle, and then you can add all the pieces where you need to add them. If you get too involved in the pieces, which is intellectualism, then it'll pull you away from simplicity. And I see this in a lot of my students, and I see this in a lot of my clients. They'll go good, go good, feel good, get going, and then someone will say, well, you need to try this. Oh, and you need to try this. No, here's this vitamin. Here's this mineral. Here's this amino acid. Here's this. Here's volcanic ash. Here's this. Here's cell food. Here's this. And then they start pulling off, and I don't see them for about a year, and then they come back on, oh man, I felt so good for those few months, and they come back with bags of stuff that they got caught into. And this is the problem. You can read what you might think is I remember this, not MSM, but maybe it was MSM, but there was beta-3D, 6D glucans, I think it was MSM or one of these dealing with the doubling of the T's and the B's and tripling of the macrophages. I tried those. I pulled NK cell tests, and which is natural killer cells. The natural killer cells, most medical doctors don't pull those labs on anyone. But those are your T cells, which is your thymus gland cells, and your B cells, which B cells are bone marrow cells, main body lymphocytes. B cells are what T cells are in the beginning. But these are your Marines and your Navy SEALs. You know, this is SEAL Team 6. And so these guys are the big boys. And you always want to take a look. Well, they touted that this would increase these, but you'd have to be on you'd have to be on the rest of your life, and it was $120 for each bottle every 10 days. You see the kind of trap that goes on out there, and this is insanity. This fills a lot of pockets because a lot of people are fearful, and when you get fearful, you'll try everything. Oh, well, this sounds good. Hydroperoxide, let's try that. Let's try sucking down vinegar. Let's try. You get caught in all these things. I've been there 40 years of this, and I can tell you that I've shaved off all the fat. Because I'm not going to tell you something, first of all, that you're going to waste your time doing, especially if it costs you a bunch of money. And we have a lot of poor people in this clinic. It isn't a matter of us going, oh, here, take a bunch of herbs. This is, what can we give you that's going to help you that's minimally going to cost you? That's our thinking here, because this is who we deal with. We are far from capitalists. But the Synthroid, and you would work off of that. Mostly, if you haven't been on long, it's easy to drop down. I'd have to see more of your, and I will do this with the questionnaire, so you can get an idea of my thinking, and how I look at, maybe this could be a pituitary, because if you're a female and you're having ovarian problems, such as too much estrogen, you bleed too much, your menses is irregular, you can have difficulty conceiving, things like this, I'm going to think pituitary. So if you have those problems with the thyroid, and then I see parathyroid where you have maybe spider veins, varicose veins, your fingernails are weak, maybe you're sagging, or you have a prolapsed bladder or uterus, hemorrhoids, cramping, and you bruise easy. That's parathyroid. So if I see too many endocrine glands, particularly where you got the ovaries and the thyroid there, I'm going to be thinking pituitary. And if you had your tonsils out, we definitely are going to think up here, aren't we? Because we know you've lost your part of your lymph system of the head. So we're going to be thinking, what's going on up here lymphatically, which that's the main suppressing fluid, isn't it? 3/4 of your interstitial fluids, and remember, interstitial means around the cell, that these fluids are predominantly lymph fluids. They don't move, and they deal with the acid side of chemistry. That's the owie side of chemistry. That's the side of chemistry we don't want to build up intracellular or in the cell. It would be like when acids build up in the cell, that's like a diaper on a baby that hasn't been changed and very little protection in the cell, not like around the cell wall. So, yeah, go after your kidneys. You know, go after your colon, honey, clean all that up, and you'll be in good shape.